Hello everyone and welcome to this special broadcast where I'm coming to you live from Ram Ki Paidi in Ayodhya. As Ram returns, the city of Ayodhya is welcoming him, and the beautification exercise, massive transformation of the city is for everyone to see. A new chapter of cultural civilization is going to be written on 22nd. I have a full panel here, but before that, a young group. This is a band of boys called Checkmark, which was founded in 2016, and they have a song to play for you.
Ram Shri Ram, Ram Shri Ram, Ram Shri Ram, Ram Shri Ram. अवध में धूम मची है, वो गलियां गलियां सजी है. अवध में धूम मची है, वो गलियां गलियां सजी है. चलो सब कीर्तन गाओ, प्रभु को भोग लगाओ. चलो सब कीर्तन गाओ, प्रभु को भोग लगाओ. हम भी प्रभु के धाम आए हैं, हम भी प्रभु के धाम आए हैं. आज मेरे प्रभु राम आए हैं, आज मेरे प्रभु राम आए हैं.
And you have performed in various parts of India. What does it feel to be a young resident of Ayodhya today?
It feels very, I feel proud to be Ayodhya Vasi, and it feels so good to to be in the music as a career and option.
And you have a young singer as well. You are the youngest member of this band.
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you?
Ma'am, 13.
13 years. Do you want to continue with the song and then I'll start the chat? Yes, please.
राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीता राम. राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीता राम. राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीता राम. राम राम जय राजा राम, राम राम जय सीता राम.
Thank you so much. Thank you for showing how mesmerizing Ayodhya is today. Let me bring in my panelists now. Shantanu Gupta, the author of The Monk Who Became Chief Minister. We have Dr. Neha Srivastav, who is a professor here at the University of Ram Manohar Lohia, Awadh University. Ratan Sharda, author. We also have Dr. Sudhir Prakash, another professor who's someone very, very active during Dipotsav. And we have Dr. Chandan Arora as well. So, it's a mix group because we also want to understand what does it feel to be a resident of Ayodhya, particularly at a time when Ayodhya has been rightly put on the world map. With the kind of fervor that you see in Ayodhya, there is a lot of curiosity as to what is going to happen, particularly in terms of rituals on 22nd when the consecration ceremony happens. Before I bring in my guests, I'm going straight to a very special guest who is joining us. He is the newsmaker of the show today. Ram Madhav is joining us. Ram Madhav, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. What is the meaning of 22nd of January to you? How will this really impact or change the minority-majority narrative of India?
In fact, 22nd January should permanently put an end to this very discriminatory, very divisive discourse about minority and majority. We are one nation. We are united by our culture, our civilization, our great forefathers. And in this particular case, Bhagwan Ram symbolizes that great national unity. So the event on January 22nd symbolizes greater unity of our nation, or that should be the ultimate objective of this whole initiative, because as I said, Ram is the greatest unifier of our country. And secondly, it will be the symbol of the reassertion of the national soul of our country. So every Indian should look at it only from that prism, not from the prism of any religion, any other divisive prism.
A national assertion, do you see this as a moment of great nationalism?
Right from the beginning, not now, right from the time we all got associated with this movement, we always asserted that this is a movement for national regeneration only. It is not at all any sectoral movement, not at all for or against any particular community. Actually, this is our nation reasserting its civilizational and cultural identity. That's how we have always looked at it, above politics, above religion, above all other sectoral differences.
India, certainly, Mr. Ram Madhav, should move beyond Ayodhya, from Ayodhya on 22nd. But there is a great degree of politics which is around the consecration ceremony. The objections which have been raised by the Shankaracharyas that the rituals are not as per the Dharma Shastras. What will you say to that?
First of all, let us not overgeneralize the opposition. For that matter, everybody in the country has noticed the opinions expressed by certain senior religious leaders, and of course the opposition leadership of the country. These two are two very different things. We respect each and every religious leader. Every Shankaracharya is highly respected for the important reason that he occupies an important place. His position occupies an important place in the philosophical, spiritual, and religious life of this nation. So in that sense, they are all very highly respected people. They have different opinions. One need not fully agree with those opinions. For example, this whole argument that rituals are not followed as per the Dharma Shastras is, to my knowledge, is not fully correct. Because whatever rituals are happening as per the Dharma Shastras only, and there has always been a precedent in this country. For that matter, take the history of all the temples, or even those temples run by many mutts and all. Ancient temples, they were all consecrated by the kings, the royals of those times. The kings and royals used to be the great patrons of the religious places in our country. They used to consecrate them. And I can give you, Maria, the very post-independence example, the very illustrious example of Somnath temple. Do you know who actually consecrated the Shiva Linga in that temple? It was the President of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad.
But the question of selective invitation, why invite those who may not have been involved at all with the entire Ram temple movement? That's what several supporters of yours are also saying.
Nobody has been not invited. Everybody is invited to visit that temple only on that day, 22nd January, because of the constraints of space and other logistical constraints. A section of our eminent citizens of the country have been invited. So in that, Ram Mandir that is coming up in Ayodhya, we all see it as the Rashtra Mandir. It's a symbol of a resurgent nation, a nation that is reinventing itself, that is asserting its national soul, national self. So every important person in the country, whether he is a believer in Ram or not a believer in Ram, probably many of them would be believing in some other sampradaya. There was this dispute over whether this temple should belong to one sampradaya or other. Traditional practices, probably certain given sampradayas will conduct. They will be the masters of ceremony, we call it. But when it comes to the temple, it belongs to every sampradaya, every tradition, every person of this country, because it is not just a religious monument, it is a monument for our national honor and national dignity. In that sense, yes, invitation has been extended to different sections of the society. Those who do not regard Bhagavan Ram as an avatar or an incarnation of the divinity, they must respect the value system that he represents. Ram is described as an epitome of a great value system. He is called the Maryada Purushottam, the epitome of great value system. That value system, whether you are in film industry, I mean even more if you are in film industry or any other industry, you all should really respect it. That is what this country stands for. In that sense, everybody deserves an invitation. So you cannot say somebody is undeserving, he got it, somebody deserving, he didn't get it. Nobody has been denied. Everybody will be welcome there. Not just on 22nd, but subsequently the temple will be open for everybody.
Yes, so there are a number of those also, Mr. Ram Madhav, who are raising these concerns that why should the consecration ceremony happen when the temple is not fully complete? You know, it is half built. And also that there is this impatient hurry or rush that has been shown by the BJP and the RSS only because the elections are around the corner.
Firstly, the argument on the merits of it is incorrect. Now, I gave you the example of Somnath temple, you know. Somnath temple was consecrated when the then Congress leadership was physically present. You know, Purushottam Das Tandon was, I think he was the Congress president at that time. He was personally there. He actually delivered his speech there. One can say Rajendra Babu was the Rashtrapati, President of India. He went. Not just he, the state president of Congress was there, the national president of Congress was there. They were all present there. The temple was not complete at that time. Do you know that? It was, in fact, in that speech, Tandon himself says, it may take about 10 years to complete this temple. And for that matter, Maria, I'm a believing Hindu. I know about the temples. Temples are never considered to be complete. They will always be built and expanded, always be new things will be added. But right now, this temple has had this first level fully ready for consecration. Many other smaller temples are also ready. Now, there will be further expansion. There will be new things added in coming years. This will go on for many years to come, like it happened with Somnath temple. It took 10 years after its consecration to bring it to what we see as the Somnath temple today. So that argument that it's incomplete is actually not a well thought out argument. It's an argument for the sake of argument. Temples are never completed for that matter. Temples always get renovated, always get added, new things are added. But in this case, a fully furnished, fully equipped, fully ready temple is being kept for installation of Bhagavan there, the Murti of the Bhagavan there.
My last question to you, sir. When do you plan to visit Ayodhya and see the Ram temple as well?
Whenever the first opportunity comes, but we have to, as people involved, associated with an organization, we have to follow the organizational discipline. Whenever the organization suggests that it is time for all of us also to go, we would be happy to certainly visit the Ram Janmabhoomi and have the darshan of Ram Lala there. Right now, after 22nd formal consecration ceremony, a timetable has been decided. So each state will be bringing thousands of devotees to Ayodhya on a given date. There is a calendar now. So maybe sometime during that period, we all also will get a chance to go.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. Shantanu, today was the day when the first picture of Ram Lala came out in the public domain.
Exactly.
What was it like for you to see that?
Exactly. I think when I saw it on social media, we were hearing about that the black stone Murti will come. And I think yesterday also we saw the Murti with like the blindfolded and some kind of shawl on it. But today we saw the Murti. It's so amazing. And a feeling that this will be the image when we all will be gone centuries after centuries as we go to Tirupati, as we go to any other big temple, right? Those iconic statues. And we are the ones who are living in those times. We're sitting here. It's so surreal, Maria, that we are sitting next to Saryu, and in 1990 this Saryu was bathed with blood of Karsevaks, and now this Saryu have seen multiple Guinness Book of World Records for the maximum number of lamps, last time being 22.5 lakh diyas, right? So I think we are part of the history. We are changing how it's changing. And this resurrection of Rama is not against anyone. It's just trying to identify, trying to engage with his own forgotten identity. And that's the beautiful part of it. It's not against anyone. It's just trying to find its own identity back.
So Dr. Sudhir Prakash and Dr. Neha Srivastava and Dr. Chandan Arora are residents of Ayodhya who have seen the transformation that Ayodhya has undergone over the last several years. Dr. Srivastava, you have been involved in the entire Dipotsav. आप उसमें आपकी भागीदारी रही है. आज जब न्योते पर इतना ऑब्जेक्शन हो रहा है, इतना डिबेट चल रहा है, आप उसको किस तरह से देखती हैं?
देखिए, जैसे उन लोगों ने न्योते में आने से मना कर दिया, ये कह के कि ये पॉलिटिकल इशू है, हम नहीं जाएंगे. क्या राम मंदिर बनने का मुद्दा आज बीजेपी का ही केवल है? ये संघर्ष पिछले 500 सालों से चला आ रहा है. कितने संत महात्माओं, इस देश के भाइयों बहनों और कारसेवकों सेवकों ने इसके पीछे अपना जान बलिदान किया, जीवन का बलिदान किया. ये इस न्योते का ठुकराना उनका अपमान है, लाखों भारतीयों के, करोड़ों भारतीयों के आस्था का अपमान है. हमारा भाग है कि हम यहाँ रहकर भी उस न्योते को नहीं पा रहे हैं, और जो उस न्योते को पा के भी ठुकरा दे रहा है, ये उनका अभाग है.
आप अयोध्या की निवासी हैं और आपको
मतलब न्योता नहीं मिला.
वो जो 10,000 लोग हैं जिनको इनवाइट किया गया है, डॉक्टर सुधीर प्रकाश, अयोध्या कैसे बदली? क्या क्या बदलाव आपने देखा है?
देखिए, अयोध्या में क्या बदलाव हुआ है, ये सोच के वर्तमान समय में ये सरयू के किनारे बैठ के मन आह्लादित हो जाता है. कल्पना नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ क्या क्या बदला. हर जगह हर चीज़ तो बदल गई. जो अयोध्या उपेक्षित थी, जो अयोध्या सिर्फ राजनीतिक मुद्दा था, वो अयोध्या आज जैसे लगता है फिर से सज रही है. रामायण में अयोध्या बहुत बड़ी है. कितनी बड़ी है तो वहाँ पे जो रामायण की व्याख्या है उसके हिसाब से अगर आज देखा जाए तो 144 किलोमीटर लंबी और 42 किलोमीटर चौड़ी अयोध्या है. अगर हम और आगे आएँ तो रामायण के बाद महाभारत काल में भी बड़ी अयोध्या की कल्पना की गई है. ह्वेंग सांग फायान जो चीनी यात्री आए हैं, उनके हिसाब से भी अयोध्या 90 वर्ग मील में फैली हुई थी. स्कंद पुराण में भी बड़ी अयोध्या था. उतना बड़ा तो नहीं, लेकिन जितने में है, आज करीब 5 लाख आबादी की अयोध्या है, लेकिन पूरा अयोध्या आनंद से डूबा है. मन सबका आह्लादित है. इसकी कल्पना और इसको शब्दों में बयान करना असंभव लगता है.
Let me ask someone who has traveled from Delhi, Ratan Sharda, and traveled from Mumbai. Yes, it's very, very cold here. But how will you describe what is there in the air? Is it chill that is there in the air, or would you say that there is something more to it?
There is a political chill, but there is a whole lot of spiritual warmth in Ayodhya, whole lot of wonderful energy in Ayodhya, devotional energy which you can't really feel. So chill is only in the air, but in the heart we are so warm, we are feeling so emotional, because my friends are coming for Kar Seva. I have seen, I know families who sacrifice everything for Kar Seva. Today I remember all those great Mahants, Rishis, people like Ashok Singhal, Morapant Pingle, Kar Sevaks who gave their lives, and Kar Sevaks who nearly lost their lives, who came not once or twice but thrice, and sustained this momentum. So what we see today is over the sacrifice of people from 500 years. The last battle was 77th battle, and from there we have seen a very, very neglected, in a very horrible condition Ayodhya, which I saw 10 years back. And when I see today's Ayodhya, it is built on those sacrifices which have been truly been given value by the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, the Prime Minister of Bharat, who has seen to it that Ayodhya reaches its own old glory and comes to the situation it was. And you see the change. Change is the young boys who played the orchestra. When you see these teenage boys, you see teenage girls roaming around with Ram Nam across Ayodhya and various pilgrim centers. It tells you Bharat has changed. There was a time when youth only felt fulfilled when they heard Western orchestra, when they were playing metal bands. It was not fashionable to play Indian music, to play devotional songs. This change is change in the entire generational change, civilizational change. This is what this movement has brought. And that is what really the impact is.
And Ratan Shadaji, since we are talking about invitations also, a question that I'm going to take a little ahead with you. We have a special guest joining us. Dr. Bharat Barai is an oncologist based out of United States, Chicago to be specific.
I met him, he's a good
You
friend.
met him?
Yeah.
Yes, so he is already in India because he is among those 10,000 Indians or people from all over the world, I would say, who have been invited for the ceremony. Dr. Barai, thank you for speaking to NDTV. You are here already in India. Give us a sense. Are you looking forward to being in Ayodhya tomorrow?
The first invitation, sort of save the date, came on December 26th. And then formal invitation followed in the 2nd, 3rd or 4th of January. And then one more email has come day before yesterday that will be on the 12th for a gate pass, which we are completing now, including uploading the photo, the information about the car or the bus, how we are traveling to Ayodhya, and where we would be staying.
And how do you look at the political criticism coming over invitation, Dr. Barai? Most of those coming from the political opposition of this government, they say that this is an RSS BJP event, almost like a political project of the incumbent government.
You know, I don't want to get involved into the politics part of it. This is the religious event. This is for all the Indians, for people of all the religions, because Lord Rama happened 7,000 years ago. So he is like Adi Lord or Adi Purush for all the Indians, even though they may be practicing different religion now, but 7,000 years ago, Ram was the great Lord for all the Indians. I would request only other people that do not miss this opportunity to get blessed by Lord Rama. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Dr. Barai, I hope to see you in person here in Ayodhya, perhaps tomorrow or day after when you are here for the ceremony. Let me bring in Dr. Chandan Arora. Dr. Chandan Arora, Dr. Srivastava ने एक बहुत अच्छी बात बोली कि ये यहाँ रहने वाली हैं फिर भी न्योता नहीं है और बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जिनको इनविटेशन है और वो नहीं आ रहे.
इस पे तो मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूँगा कि चलो बुलावा आया है, श्री राम ने बुलाया है, तो जिनको बुलावा मिला और वो नहीं आ रहे हैं तो शायद अभी प्रभु ने उनका बुलावा नहीं दिया है.
आप यहाँ के रहने वाले हैं?
जी, मैं यहीं बचपन से ही रहता हूँ. जैसा कि अभी आपने कहा था कि क्या चेंज हुआ है, कोई तरीका मुझे ऐसा दिखता नहीं, चाहे वो रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हो, एयर कनेक्टिविटी हो, रेलवे नेटवर्क हो, सब में एकदम नए युग की ही शुरुआत हो गई है. यहाँ ये सपनों सरीखा था. जैसे 500 वर्षों के लंबे संघर्ष के बाद राम लला अपने दिव्य और भव्य मंदिर में विराजने जा रहे हैं. इस शहर के लिए, इस अयोध्या नगरी के लिए भी एक नए युग की शुरुआत है. और उसी बात है कि शायद प्रभु ने अभी उनका बुलावा ही नहीं भेजा है. जब भेजेंगे तभी दर्शन करेंगे वो.
आप लोग कब दर्शन करने जाएंगे?
जी, हम तो रोज ही यहाँ आ रहे हैं और बिल्कुल जाएंगे. 22 को तो शायद वीआईपी मूवमेंट रहेगा.
चलिए, तो उस दिन नहीं कर पाएंगे.
उस दिन नहीं कर पाएंगे. उसके बाद
ये the point that is being made here, you know, and 2 weeks back I was here for a documentary that I shot, Shantanu, and then I saw this digital connect. You know, a boatman saying that I have a UPI ID, a lady who was selling things on the near Saryu. She had a code, QR code. So, you know, we are seeing that digital movement as well. Temple towns change when this kind of infrastructure push happens, right? Let's talk about the economy aspect of it.
So, Maria, India runs on a big temple town economy. There are 200 plus towns in India that have a massive temple town economy, starting from Tirupati, which is a 3 to 4,000 crore rupees economy. Even a smaller temple like Shirdi has a 4 to 500 crores of economy. In fact, Ayodhya was, through artificial case, was been kept away from such economy. And in 2017, when Yogi Adityanath became the chief minister, he had this eagerness to prepare Ayodhya to welcome Sri Ram. He declared Ayodhya as a municipal corporation. Now Ayodhya has a second mayor. The roads were widened, the street light, the waste management system, Naya Ghat, Guptar Ghat, the Ram Ki Pedi. It used to be all like algae and kai here, like a couple of years back. Yes. And now it's like, it's looking like some European, it's looking like some European lake, and like a Zurich lake.
Yes, and this Zurich lake that you're talking
Zurich
about.
lake, I lived in Zurich for a year, so I can
you know, there is this light and sound show.
The light and sound show, you can say a Ramayana reflection on this show. So the way, I think Ram was also waiting for the reflection of Ram Raj to come. As you say, now there is online transaction. When Prime Minister came here, he went to the person who got the 10th crore gas connection. So now people have houses, they have DBT, farmers are happy. So I think he was also waiting for this combination of Modi and Yogi to be at the helm of this, so that his event should be grand. And the people should be happy. As Sir was saying, Ayodhya was a very prosperous town. It was a very large city. So I think Ram was waiting for this prosperity to come back. And now this prosperity is in the air.
Yeah, so the prosperity that is being sensed. Dr. Srivastava, आप क्या बोलेंगी? अयोध्या में एक नए अध्याय की शुरुआत हो रही है, एक नए चैप्टर की शुरुआत हो रही है. यहाँ पर अभी कुछ देर पहले मैंने काफ़ी महिलाओं से भी चर्चा किया. उन्होंने भी बताया कि हर एक चीज़ के बारे में बता रही है कि कैसे कैसे बदलाव देखा है आपने क्या क्या देखा है बदलते हुए.
देखिए, अयोध्या जो है बहुत बदली है. जैसा सर कह रहे थे राम की पैड़ी की बात, राम की पैड़ी अभी कुछ सालों पहले बिल्कुल ऐसी नहीं थी जैसा आप देख रहे थे. मतलब कि पानी रुका रहता था, काई जमी रहती थी इधर से, मतलब वो नहीं था. फिर जब इसकी कनेक्टिविटी हुई, पानी का फ्लो हुआ, कंस्ट्रक्शन हुआ, तो आपको इस तरह से पैड़ी दिख रही है. फिर यहाँ पे गुप्तार घाट से नई घाट तक घाटों का बनना, सफाई होना. जहाँ पहले गंदगी का अंबार रहता था, वहाँ इतनी साफ़ सफाई, इतने अच्छे से घाटों का बनना. कंपनी गार्डन में नए पार्क्स बनना, लोगों को क्या नाम है कि यहाँ पे एक सूरज कुंड था, वो भी जीर्ण शीर्ण अवस्था में पड़ा हुआ था. उसका भी बहुत अच्छा मॉडरेशन हुआ है. बहुत दिव्य लगता है. अब वो देख के विश्वास ही नहीं होता ये वही सूरज कुंड है जो कुछ साल पहले हम लोग देखते थे. रोड्स हैं इतने मतलब वाइडर हुई हैं. 4 लेन की रोड्स शहर के अंदर हो गई हैं. जहाँ पे चलना मुश्किल होता था वहाँ 4 लेन की रोड देखने को मिल रही है. सड़कों पे तार लटके रहते थे, तारों के गुच्छे, ये सब थे, वो सारे वायर्स हट गए, अंडरग्राउंड हो गया है. और इलेक्ट्रिक बस सब चलने लगी है.
That's actually quite a vivid description of all that has changed. Very from a local perspective, because the locals are being impacted by it. Dr. Sudhir Prakash, you have been part of the Deepotsav जो यहाँ पर ऑर्गेनाइज होता था, रेगुलरली होता है.
जी. इसके लिए गिनीज बुक ऑफ वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड मिल चुके हैं अयोध्या को
जो मिल चुके हैं. तो जब बदलाव का वक्त शुरू हुआ, तो कब, किस महीने और किस साल में सबसे ज़्यादा आप लोगों पर हुआ कि यहाँ नहीं जाना है, वहाँ नहीं जाना है, अयोध्या यहाँ पर भी खुदी हुई है, वहाँ पर भी खुदी हुई है?
देखिए, 2017 में हमारे योगी जी मुख्यमंत्री बने हैं. योगी जी के मुख्यमंत्री बनने के बाद अयोध्या में अचानक परिवर्तन दिखना शुरू हुआ है. और आपको एक बात बताऊं, बहुत इंटरेस्टेड बात बताऊं. अयोध्या में इतनी चौड़ी रोड हुई है, बहुत सारे लोगों का मकान टूटा है, बहुत सारे लोगों विस्थापित हुए हैं. मतलब आप विश्वास नहीं करेंगी, इस परिवर्तन का जैसे अयोध्या इंतजार कर रहा था, कहीं से चू नहीं हुआ. सभी लोग सहर्ष स्वीकार किए.
नहीं किया जब मकान टूटे तो
कहीं कोई विरोध का स्वर बताइए कहीं दिखाई दिया हो. कुछ लोगों ने राजनीति करना चाहा, लेकिन अयोध्या वासी जो है बिल्कुल परिवर्तन चाहते थे. बिल्कुल वो राम के कार्य में भागीदारी चाहते थे. और आपको एक बात बताएं, बड़ा इंटरेस्टेड बात बताएं, सारे लोग खुश हैं, सारे लोग प्रसन्नचित्त हैं. 4 घंटा 5 घंटा लाइट नहीं आती. लाइट की कटौती 2017 से पहले अयोध्या में इतनी थी कि 10-10 घंटा लाइट नहीं आती थी.
और
अभी लाइट जाती ही नहीं है. तो परिवर्तन तो 2017 के बाद दिखाई दिया है.
एजुकेशन सेक्टर में क्या बदला है डॉक्टर अरोड़ा, क्योंकि आप लोग प्रोफेसर्स हैं, एजुकेशन सेक्टर में क्या क्या बदलाव दिखा है?
एजुकेशन
अभी वक्त है बदलने में.
उसमें काफ़ी कुछ बदल चुका है और थोड़ा अभी वक्त है. पहले ये जो मैंने आपको पहले बताया कि शहर इतना उपेक्षित था, ये शहर इतना पौराणिक, इतना महत्वपूर्ण शहर होने के बावजूद कोई रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं, किसी भी तरीके का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं, तो अच्छे स्कूल कॉलेज यहाँ खुलते ही नहीं थे। अब पिछले कुछ सालों से सन 17 के बाद से अच्छे स्कूल्स यहाँ पर खुलने लगे हैं। यहाँ मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज़ अच्छी नहीं थी, अब यहाँ पर मेडिकल कॉलेज है। पहले यहाँ पे छोटे सा भी आपको प्रॉब्लम हो जाए तो लखनऊ दौड़ के जाना पड़ता था, आज हमारे शहर में अपना मेडिकल कॉलेज है। तो परिवर्तन शुरू हो चुका है, बाकी आगे हो रहा है।
Dr. Ratan Shada, the fact is that you yourself said that you have not been to Ayodhya for the last 10 years and you are seeing the changes here. Kashi Vishwanath corridor, when it was built, after that there is a significant shift also in the footfalls that Kashi has almost 8 times. Similarly, after the Mahakal corridor in Ujjain, the footfalls increase, the job opportunities increase, people get new avenues, all those aspects of temple town economy. Do you think that is an equally important aspect? You know, while we look at the fervor, the celebration today, Ayodhya was being readied for this day.
Well, as Shantanu pointed out, Indian economy has been running very smoothly and very effectively on temple town economics only. If you look around the world, all the industrial towns which rose above coal economy or steel economy or vehicles, Detroit or Manchester, they disappeared from the economic map. But because we have integral townships where we have not just temple is a center of economy, is center of industry, it's center of devotion and also education, arts and culture. When all this happen together, you find a very prosperous and wonderful country. Nobody is poor, everybody is earning money, whether smallest hawker or the large hotels. That is the beauty of temple economy. Those people who complain that when you try to build a tourist economy around temples and you try to destroy the sanctity of pilgrimage, I don't agree. Because I have been to Kashi Vishwanath before the renewal, after the renewal, it's magical. See what happens earlier when you used to go to Tirth, you would be very afraid, क्या होगा, कोई जेब काट लेगा, कोई धक्का मारेगा, दर्शन 1 सेकंड करूँगा, क्या होगा, that fear, whether Vaishno Devi, whether Kashi Vishwanath or any other town, any other temple, large temple. Now when you go, if you come out so energetic, you feel so happy. That sense of happiness that used to come to our people who used to travel in olden times to the temple towns and big temples is back now. So it's not just spiritual upliftment, it's also economic upliftment. And as you see, people today expect your places to be very well maintained. They expect cleanliness. It's a normal expectation because our own homes have changed, our own towns have changed. You don't expect them to remain 500 years back or 100 years back when colonizers deliberately destroyed the economy, destroyed the temples. Look at Jagannath Puri. They have got a new corridor. So this is the present, this is how we should be doing. People go to Vatican. Why do they go? It's grand. When they go to Makkah, they see large temples out or towns outside. They see, oh, it's so great, so nicely built. That is what Ayodhya will become. I think Ayodhya will become the center of the future tourist economy, center of future pilgrim center, and the most important place to be visited from all over the world, because as everybody points out, Ramayana is not just in Bharat, it's across all the Southeast Asia, all the countries, even across the world. As people read the ideal family, ideal Purush, they read about Ram, they read Ramayana.
Okay.
So this is going to be a magnet now.
Dr. Pramod, Dr. Prakash, how many of your friends, आपके कितने दोस्तों ने आपको फोन किया ये बोलते हुए कि वो अयोध्या आना चाहते हैं और उनके रहने का इंतजाम किया जाए, क्योंकि यहाँ पर जो होटल्स हैं अभी अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन है बहुत सारे?
एक लाइन में बताऊं कि रघुवर जी की अवधपुरी में प्राण प्रतिष्ठा होना है। निमंत्रण को स्वीकार करो, हम सबको अयोध्या चलना है। जय बजरंगी, जय हनुमान, वंदे मातरम, भारत माँ। मुझे लगता है रोज कम से कम 10 से 15 फोन मैं रिसीव करता हूँ और कहता हूँ कि भैया 23 के बाद ही प्रोग्राम बनाना, क्योंकि 22 को व्यवस्था मैं नहीं दे पाऊंगा और 23 के बाद बनाओगे, क्योंकि 22 को मोमेंट वीआईपी मोमेंट रहेगी। 23 के बाद ही आइएगा। बहुत उत्साह है, रिश्तेदार, मित्र, गांव से, हर जगह से फोन आता है, सभी अयोध्या आना चाहते हैं।
अयोध्या। और Yes.
Myra, an important point is this is a historic place. This is a place where renewal of Bharat, the first temple that Indians have won back from the invaders, because Somnath was built by with the support of ruling party, though although made by the people's money. Here is the place which for 500 of struggle we have snatched back our place of worship, and we have built a temple going through legal means. So this entire renewal system that you are building anew, that is the significance of the entire civilizational, as you put it, renewal is happening here
Yes,
now.
the civilizational renewal and the excitement that we saw today also. Shantanu, you were on the same flight as me.
exactly.
And you know, there are a number of flights that have been started from Ayodhya, direct flights to Kolkata, to Bengaluru, to Delhi. That connectivity is essential, you know.
I think as someone said, the local said, beat the road connectivity. You can land at Lucknow and in 2 hours you'll be in Ayodhya. Direct flights from multiple places from Ayodhya International Airport, and it's such a beautiful name, Maharishi Valmiki, who wrote Ramayana, who wrote the biography of Rama, the biographer of Rama, Maharishi Valmiki Airport. And remember, Maria, when we took off, people were started chanting Jai Shri Ram. People, and all along there were bhajan mandlis, and there was such a light mood, such a joy in the air, and nobody was angry with anyone. Everybody was the same purpose. We are going to the Nagari of Ram, and that's the ethos of
And we have
Rama.
a very special guest now joining us, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, spiritual guru, someone who played a key role in mediation for years. This day, 22nd of January, is coming after a lot of sweat and blood, lot of efforts on your part also, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. If I may ask you, as someone who has played that role for years and decades, did you think that a day would arrive when finally the consecration ceremony of the temple will happen? So what does that day mean for you?
It's not important what is it for Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, but what it is most important that the dream of millions of Indians over the years, over the generations, have had their dream fulfilled. It's a dream come true for many, many, many people. After 500 years, the Ram temple is back again. So there is so much joy, so much enthusiasm, and I do share their happiness. I'll be part of that.
A new chapter that can perhaps be written from Ayodhya for the entire country. That's why we at NDTV call it a new adhyay, or a new chapter that can begin. Do you think that day can be a day of political unity, when politicians and political class can rise above politics?
I would have loved that too. That would have been the most ideal thing. But I wish whether they come for the inauguration or not later, at least they would come there, or they'll participate in some way or other. You see, this is people's movement. It's people's emotion. No party can afford to ignore it. So you will see already they say they are not against the temple or inauguration or such things. But as you said correctly, I also felt it would have been such a great occasion for people to rise above the politics and participate in sense of unity. This is very important. It would have sent a good message to the whole world. I guess people are not that wise. मैं समझता हूँ लोगों को इतना वो क्या है विजडम नहीं है, तो इस बात को पॉलिटिक्स से ऊपर देखने की, वो बहुत
Are you disappointed with the political class that a day which could have been apolitical, had all of them attended it, would become political, and the significance of that day would be lost?
See, a few people not coming on that day is not going to make a big difference at all. I would say it's not going to make a difference. I am not disappointed, or I didn't even expect any of those. But what I would say is all the communities are coming together and participating. That's an important thing. Right here in Bangalore, you know, one gentleman who is part of the village panchayat, Parvez, he's a Muslim, he came and he said, you know, Gurudev, we would like to celebrate here Sri Rama's that Pratishtha here in the nearby temple, and from the church also the father will also be coming. Everyone is joining together. I mean, this is the spirit that we see today in the country, you know, cutting across religion, caste and economic status. People are all coming together to celebrate. I think politicians should realize this. Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. Always a pleasure to speak to you, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, there with that important and crucial message. We are slipping into a short break. More news and updates on the other side, and the conversation with the special panel here will continue. This is our special broadcast from Ayodhya.
What stands out for you in the growth that the Indian economy has seen, is likely to report in the region of 7.3%, as I just mentioned, for FY24? What stands out for you?
So if you look at the composition of this growth, Manvi, I think what stands out for me is the gross fixed capital formation that is projected to grow at 10.3%. And the reason I say this is you would recall that the first economic survey that I had authored, we had talked about the virtuous cycle starting from investment, and the fact that investment will grow at 10.3%. The idea of the virtuous cycle was derived by looking at all countries that have grown since the Second World War at 5% plus growth rates, not just for a year or two, but for an entire decade. And what we found was that that kind of growth happened from investment. So the investment likely to increase at 10.3% is very important, because that is the first pin, if you will, in the 9 pins that, typically sort of fall in a cascade. So I think that is for me the best part. I will add that, once the election, any uncertainty, residual uncertainty that may be remaining relating to elections, once that is over, I think private investment will certainly join the party. There are many important cues that are coming in. If we look at the capital goods, I think that is done very well. Overall, if we look at states, the capex by states, that has grown at about almost 50%, in the first half of the year. And if you go by even the Axis Bank's capex index, even corporate capex has grown at about 15% in the first half of the year. So together with production in cement and steel, all of which typically are quite important, for overall private investment, I think the story for me really looks like the start of a very good cycle starting from investment.
Salam UAE, are you ready to witness the biggest reality award show to honor and celebrate the achievements of realtors, real estate companies and property developers in the UAE? The Ultimate Reality Awards 2024 is brought to you by NKN Media in partnership with NDTV, which marks a significant milestone in the spectrum of the reality landscape. You can nominate your brand by simply visiting www.ultimaterealityawards.com under the category that suits best for your brand. See you at the awards.
Ayodhya is set for the Grand Temple opening. A journey of faith as Ram returns. Pilgrims and visitors head to the holy city for the consecration of the Ram Temple.
प्राण प्रतिष्ठा होने वाला है. It's a historic event.
The ancient city abuzz with change.
Welcome back. The countdown has begun for the consecration ceremony on 22nd, and we are coming to you live from Ayodhya with a very special panel. Couple of those who have traveled from Delhi and Mumbai and those who are residents of Ayodhya. चलिए अब हम सम अप करते हैं और डॉक्टर अरोरा आपसे शुरू करते हैं. 48 घंटे बचे हैं. आपके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है?
मेरे दिमाग में बस यही चल रहा है कि कैसे ये पल जल्दी आ जाए.
जल्दी आ जाए.
ऑलरेडी 500 साल लेट हो चुके हैं इतने लंबे संघर्ष के बाद. अब ये पल बहुत जल्दी आ जाए.
डॉक्टर प्रकाश, एज अ रेसिडेंट ऑफ अयोध्या, क्या सोच रहे हैं? क्या वो सोच रहे हैं जो ज्यादातर अयोध्या के
परम सौभाग्य का विषय है मेरे लिए, और ये भी विषय है मैं सब परिवार उस समय अयोध्या में रहूंगा, यही मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य है.
रतन शारदा,
Maria, I was part of the Ram Janmabhoomi Andolan since its beginning, and when we are involved in all these years of struggle and trying to keep people interested and enthused and take part in this struggle, we were not sure. We were sure it will happen. We were not sure when it will happen. As in Marathi they say, Yasi Dehi Yasi Dola. With the same eyes and same body, will we be able to see that Ram temple and see Ram Lala in all his glory? That day has arrived. Naturally, we are very emotional. It's a kind of emotional upheaval in the mind, and I look forward to that day.
Okay, Dr. Srivastava, quickly.
ये क्या है कि राम मंदिर जो है हमारी संस्कृति को आधुनिकता से जोड़ने का प्रतीक है. लाखों लोगों के बलिदान के का प्रतीक है. हमें हमारी आस्था को आधुनिकता से जोड़ने का प्रतीक है. नर को नारायण से जोड़ने का प्रतीक है, और हमारे जीवन के नए उद्देश्यों को बनाने का प्रतीक है.
Shantanu, you know, I'm asking you this question because as an author, are you noting down everything so that you have what you'll be writing next?
I think, see, Maria, I must have done a couple of 100 debates on Ram Mandir while the Supreme Court case was happening. Really, if I touch my heart, I never thought I'll see this day. And I'm in Ayodhya that day. I think this is also giving an inspiration and perseverance that if the Ram can travel from tent to the temple, anything can happen. Only thing we have to persevere. I think, and we should remember, after 20 years, 30 years, with our grandchildren, we have an amazing story to narrate.
Yes, you have stories to share to them. Yes. Okay, let me go straight now to Malini Awasthi, folk singer, someone who has been invited for the ceremony. Malini ji, NDTV के मंच पर आपका स्वागत है. जब आपको न्योता मिला था तो आपने ट्वीट किया था कि आपको अपने पिताजी की याद आई, और आपने ये भी कहा था कि उन्होंने राम टेम्पल मूवमेंट की पूरी हिस्ट्री आपको बताई है. उसके बारे में बताइए.
ये पिताजी की इसलिए याद आई क्योंकि सबसे पहले राम जन्मभूमि आंदोलन के संघर्ष की कथा अपने पिताजी से ही सुना था. उन्होंने ही मुझे सबसे पहले बताया. अयोध्या भी जब हम लोग गाड़ी से गोरखपुर से लखनऊ को आते तो उनके साथी हनुमानगढ़ी और राम जन्मभूमि के दर्शन करते. इस पूरे संघर्ष के जैसे जैसे राम आंदोलन जन्मभूमि का आंदोलन बढ़ता गया तो अपने पिता की भावनाओं के साथ साथ हम लोग भी सब लोग जुड़ गए, और अपरोक्ष रूप से भी सहयोग में भी जुड़ गए आप कह सकते हैं. और अब जब इतना बड़ा एक चमत्कार हुआ है कि इतनी लंबी प्रतीक्षा के बाद मंदिर में प्राण प्रतिष्ठा रामलला की होने जा रही है, तो आज पिताजी नहीं है, उनको मैं बहुत मिस करती हूँ. लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि उन्हीं नहीं, उन जैसे अशेष हमारे पूर्वजों की प्रार्थनाएं स्वीकार हुई और तभी ये इतनी लंबी प्रतीक्षा के बाद भगवान राम वहां पे विराजमान होंगे. और मैं एक बात को बिना किसी लाग लपेट के कह सकती हूँ कि शायद हमारी पीढ़ी, हम लोग से हमारे पूर्वजों की पीढ़ी तो और भी ज्यादा कहीं ना कहीं इस ग्लानि बोध से बड़ी हुई है, इस अपमान बोध से बड़ी हुई है कि हमारे जो प्रतीक, हमारे आस्था थे, उन पर कुठाराघात हुआ. लेकिन नई पीढ़ी को कहीं ना कहीं राम जन्मभूमि मंदिर का निर्माण, उनका आत्मसम्मान, उसमें वृद्धि करेगा. ये नया भारत का निर्माण करेगा. और नया भारत इसलिए क्योंकि देखिए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वगैरह सब सही है, लेकिन एक जो शब्द होता है शनासियत, हमारी पहचान, हम कौन है, हमारा आत्मबोध, भारत बोध, हम कौन है। तो मैं, आप जानते हैं, मैं तो गायिका हूं, हमारे यहाँ कितने कितने गीतों में राम ऐसे विराजते हैं जैसे मानो कण कण में बसे हो। जन्म का गीत हो, मृत्यु का गीत हो, विवाह का गीत हो, चकिया पीसने का गीत हो, धान बुआई का गीत हो, कोल्हू के तेल पिराई का गीत हो, सब जगह राम एक चरित्र के रूप में, एक जागृत चरित्र के रूप में मौजूद हैं, उनके गीत हैं। यानी स्पष्ट है कि शताब्दियों से हमारे पूर्वजों ने राम को विस्मृत नहीं होने दिया कि तुम मंदिर तोड़ सकते हो लेकिन जो हृदय में राम बसे वो कहाँ से जाएंगे। इसलिए लोक संस्कृति, लोक गीतों, लोक गाथाओं और कलाओं की बड़ी महत्ता है। आप जितने भी नृत्य देखेंगी, चाहे भरतनाट्यम देखें आप, चाहे ओडिसी देखें आप, कथक देखें आप, ध्रुपद देखें, शास्त्रीय संगीत की बंदिशें देखें, कला के हर पक्ष में आपको राम, कृष्ण, शिव, देवी सब दिखाई देंगी। तो भारत की संस्कृति को कलाओं ने बड़ा संरक्षित करके रखा है।
मालिनी जी, सरयू के तट पर और राम की पैड़ी में आपने काफ़ी गीत गाए हैं। जब वो प्रोग्राम्स आप करती थी तो क्या आपको लगता था कि ऐसा भी दिन आएगा जब आप प्राण प्रतिष्ठा में शामिल होंगी, उस इवेंट में आप मौजूद रहेंगी?
जैसे तारीख पे तारीख फिल्म का डायलॉग, हमें लगता था कि ये अदालत में ही फंसा रहेगा मामला, लेकिन बहुत सुंदर बात है कि एक सरकार की दृढ़ इच्छा शक्ति और उसमें एक सुलझा हुआ निर्णय, क्योंकि कोई भी विवाद को जितना आप टालेंगे, उलझाएंगे, वो और उलझेगा। मुझे लगता है इससे शांति भी विस्थापित हुई है, इससे जो दूरियां थी वो भी घटी हैं। मेरी बहुत, आपसे बता सकती हूँ खुल के कि हमारे बहुत मित्र हैं जो हमारे जो मुस्लिम समुदाय के मित्र हैं, वे भी बहुत प्रसन्न और संतुष्ट हैं। वो तो हमारे एक मित्र हैं, वो तो कहते हैं कि हमारे यहाँ राम को इमाम हिंद का खिताब हमारे यहाँ दिया जाता है। तो हमें इस बात की बहुत प्रसन्नता है कि आप कि राम का मंदिर बनना था और बन रहा है, हम लोग बड़े खुश हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कई बार जो जिनके अपने कह लीजिए इंटरेस्ट्स होते हैं वो मामलों को उलझाए रखते हैं। शायद उतना समुदाय का मामला नहीं था जितना कि राजनीति का मामला बन गया। तो मुझे बहुत प्रसन्नता होती है। और अब निश्चित रूप से अब जब गाती हूँ तो अब लगता है कि राम का प्रकाट्य वास्तव में हो रहा है। जो त्रेता युग में प्रकाट्य हुआ हम लोग को तब देखने को नहीं थे, तो अब लगता है कि 22 जनवरी को तो ऐसा ही अनुभव होने वाला है, क्योंकि पूरे विश्व में हर घर दिवाली मनेगी, हर घर अयोध्या ही हो जाएगा, हर मंदिर अयोध्या का प्रतिमान। और एक बात चलते चलते और कहना चाहूंगा कि राम का पूरा जीवन प्रतीक्षा का जीवन है, धैर्य का जीवन है। तो राम का पूरे जीवन से कह लीजिए प्रेरणा लेते हुए हिंदुओं ने भी धीरज रखा है, प्रतीक्षा की है, और उस प्रतीक्षा का ये प्रतिफल है जो 22 को मिलेगा। ऐसे में जब हम बधाई और सोहर, या जब अब कहा जाए गोस्वामी जी के शब्दों में, भय प्रगट कृपाला दीन दयाला कौशल्या हितकारी, तो लगता है हाँ राम प्रगट।
मालिनी जी, आखिरी सवाल आपके गीत का होगा। आप हमारे दर्शकों को गीत गाकर बताएं कि क्या सोच रही हैं आप, और उसी से हम अपने कार्यक्रम को एंड करेंगे।
मोरे राम अवध घर आए, मोरे राम अवध घर आए, मोरे राम अवध घर आए, मोरे राम अवध घर आए। अरे घर घर लोग वाद्य ना सजाए, राम लला घर आए, मोरे राम अवध घर आए। दीपावली को गाया जाने वाला ये गीत 22 को सार्थक और चरितार्थ हो जाएगा। सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय।
Malini Awasthi, folk singer, thank you so much for joining us, and a big thank you to all of the panelists who are here in this cold, but Shantanu, there's another mood here, not really cold or chilly.
Exactly, I think There are multiple sets of multiple channels. Government has put up a set. We are hearing Ram bhajans all along, right?
So
I
it's
think
a different
it's
mood.
city.
Okay, it's surreal and it's certainly a different feel to be in Ayodhya. This was our special broadcast. Thanks so much for watching.